crazy.
YouTube, let's get it. Back with another vid, YouTube. It's your boy Big Gap. And today, this video will just be a talking video. So grab your popcorn, because it's gonna be a long one. We're gonna just talk about, I finally got a chance this weekend to race. I raced my two Losi RTRs, and I used the new Spektrum ixsr radio. And I just got out with it, man, and had a good time, and just testing it out, making sure everything was good. We had a good day of racing up in Rockmart, Georgia. Big thanks to my brothers for inviting us up to do some racing with them. And we just had a good time, man. So starting off the video, we're going to talk about the radio last. We're going to start off talking about the buggy. The buggy was lights out. It ran excellent. The tires gave me just enough traction, but not too much traction to where I rolled over. It was a little slow. I do need to go in the settings and change a few things and go up on the pinion, the pinion size just slightly. I think it's like a 14 in there, so I think I'm gonna go up to like a 16, and I think that'll get me to where I want to be with the 4S. But the system in this ran flawlessly. I had no issues with heat, none of that. It ran around. It was very efficient on the battery. I think I was only running a 4,500 milliamp battery in there, and it ran 30, 40 laps. It never went dead, and I left the car running. Normally when I'm out racing and I have a whole lot of packs that I've charged up, I like to run the packs down. So if I don't run the car a lot, I'll just leave it on the side and let it just run, and it'll kind of like trickle the battery down. So what I was doing was switching back and forth between cars on the actual radio. But this one really ran lights out. I don't plan on doing many mods to it at all. Like I said, other than just the pinion, and I'm gonna go into settings and just check and see where they got the time and all that stuff on the motor and ESC. But all in all, man, it ran like a champ. I thought that it was going to need better tires, but these tires actually performed on that track pretty well. It's a clay track, but it's not packed super tight like a real deal, like Logan'sville type track, like a real deal with a pros run. It's not super tight like that, so the tires actually performed pretty good, man. I was impressed. The only thing that I was hesitant was kind of the speed. Like when we left off the line, a lot of times I was having to get full throttle just to be able to keep up. And with my TLR tuned Typhon buggy, I don't have to do that. I can go half throttle and I can keep up speed wise. But it's a whole nother system set up in there, but that's another video. But all in all, man, this RTR buggy, man, if you don't have a race setup, like if you don't have a Typhon, if you have a TLR tuned Typhon that runs pretty good, you know what I'm saying, it might not be a must for you to have one. But if you don't, if you just have like a bash regular Typhon or any other kind of 8 scale buggy, like the Radix, Team Corrales or whatever the case may be, this is a better race buggy than all of them. The only one that's, like I said, that's on the level of this is the TLR tuned Typhon. But yeah, the buggy, man, it was lights out, man. It did its thing. It won some races. It lost a few, but it won more than it actually lost. But it was good, man. It was awesome. So moving on to the Truggy. The Truggy, speed wise, was pretty good. The speed was pretty good, but as you can see right here, I had to change the tires. Those stock tires on this Truggy, it was just all over the place. It was sliding and gliding and twisting, and it was kind of tough for me to even get on the throttle hard with those stock tires. So I swapped them out to these AKAs, which these did a little bit better on it, not that much better. I think more with the Truggy is going to be more of diff issues. Not issues as in they broke or anything like that, but just with the fluids. I think if I go through here and I do the regular race setup, which is what, 10 in the middle, 7 in the front, 5 in the rear. If I go through, well, I'm going to go through the diffs and do that, and I think it will make this truggy a lot better. But efficiency with the motor and ESC was excellent. Same way on this truck. I think I had a 6500 milliamp in here, and I only ran the 4500 milliamp on this because I don't like how when you put the bigger batteries in, it makes the body lean. Trying to just stay aerodynamic when racing and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I went with the smaller battery. But to the truggy, I had the 6500 120C battery in there. So it had plenty of power. The battery did not run dead. The motor and ESC was cool as a fan. With the speed on this one, it's fine though. With this one, it's gonna be more of just tuning the diffs and finding the correct tires. I'm probably gonna go with the tires that run great on that track are the Duratrax XCons. They're hard to find, but I did actually find on the Duratrax site they actually have a few in stock. So I'll probably grab four packs, so I can have a whole set for this truck and then a set on standby, because that's what I'm running on my race Losi 8, my kit Losi 8. I'm running the XCons and it grips lights out. So this just a little bit of diff tuning. Just a truggy, just a little bit of diff tuning, and I think that it would be excellent. After me running it, I had a few wrecks. A couple of people hit me, and I seen the durability. The durability was not that bad. I mean, the durability was pretty good from the crashes and the people hitting me. So what I'm gonna do with this one is I'm going to just make this my regular neighborhood racer. I didn't want to race this in the neighborhood races because you do a lot of bumping in the neighborhood races, and I didn't want to break it. But now that I ran it and I see that it's pretty durable, it could take a good hit. I am gonna just probably change over to like maybe some 4S backflip. 4S backflip tires, and I'm just gonna make this a neighborhood racer. I am gonna tune those diffs though, but I'm gonna just make this a regular neighborhood racer. And be able to have a race car out in the neighborhood races, so that'll give me a little bit of an advantage. But yeah, the truggy, it ran pretty good too. It was very efficient. I may have won 2, maybe 3 races out there where we race at. The truggies is they're the fastest. The guys out there, they're the fastest with the truggies. So it may have won 1, 2, maybe 3 races out of maybe like 10 or 12 that I actually raced in with it. But I wasn't really expecting a lot out of it because, like I said, I know those guys out there and they're pretty damn good. But I just wanted to see where the car was actually at running. So, with that being said, I am going to tweak this one a little bit. It's going to be a while before y'all see it again. Well, y'all haven't seen the video. I didn't record any video there. I was having too much fun. I wasn't thinking about recording a video. But I will eventually get a video up of the car actually racing. But, yeah, man, is it worth the money that I spent on it? I say yes. I say yes. A lot of people say $629 or $639 or something like that. Is a lot of money, which it is, but for what you get, I think it's pretty adequate. It drives much better than like the Creighton 6S right out of the box, any of the Team Corrali cars right out of the box. Excuse my light, y'all. It's on the timer. Let me put my other light on. Yeah, any of the other RTR truggies, it drive way better. Like I said, any of the Corrales, any of the Armors, the Sledge, the Traxxas cars, it drives night and day better than all those cars right out of the box. Doesn't have the power as a lot of those cars because it's not going to do wheelies or nothing like that. But it actually drives way better. So for the people, I definitely recommend this for the people who do light racing. Like they just find the field, like what we do with the neighborhood races, where we just find the field and set the cones up and go around. This car is going to be lights out for that. It's going to be tough for people to beat you. If you can drive just decently, it's going to be tough for people to beat you when you buy this car. I would not recommend this in the neighborhood races, simply because the drag in the grass, and it's not really made for 6S. But this would be fine in the grass on 4S all day long. You'll be beating most of the 6S cars just by the drivability of this car. So all in all, do I feel like it was bad purchases? No, I'm very satisfied with my purchase. It took me forever to run these cars. I've had them for weeks, and they just been sitting on the shelf waiting to be able to get the rock mark. So I've been real anxious to run them, and I was, they performed pretty well. Like I said, I was satisfied with them. So moving on to the controller. I know a lot of people was tuning in just to hear my thoughts of the controller. The controller is tight, man. If you have a DX5 Pro and you running a DX5 Pro, DX5C, DX5 Rugged, any of those controllers, this is definitely going to be better than all of those controllers. Starting off just with the interface that you can react with the screen, and the touch screen is way better than that little knob and that little stroll wheel and all that kind of stuff, and hitting the wrong button and all that stuff. So hands down, if you coming from a DX5 Pro or any of the other DX5 radios, any other Spektrum surface transmitters, this is going to be a step above all of them. A con is the startup time. It does take a while to start up, but I noticed in the field, real time, it wasn't that bad, because what I did was I turned the remote on, and then I went, got down and, got the car turned on and put the body on. By the time I got the car turned on and put the body on, the remote was ready to go. So real time is really not that bad. You know what I'm saying? If you sitting there and you just, like right now, we having this conversation, if I turn it on right now, it's going to feel like it takes a long time because we're just sitting here talking. But like I said, real time when you're in the field, it's really not that bad. Response. The response, that's where I thought it was going to suffer. I thought that it was going to be a night and day difference between my Futaba 10. I've had the Sanwa M17. I've had the Noble the MB4 Noble. I've had the also had the both of the radio links, the older radio link, and I've had the new 8X radio link controller. And I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, it is slightly slower than all of the ones that I just named. It's slightly slower than all of the ones I just named. But real time, when you're racing, you really can't tell the difference. I'm just gonna be honest. I was running this and I was running my Futaba 10 out there together. Swapping them on and off and moving them side to side. Picking this one up, race these two cars, put this one down, pick up the Futaba 10. I got my TLR Tune Typhon on there and my Losi 8 race, my kit, my Losi 8 kit on there. And I picked them both up and ran. And you really couldn't tell a difference real time. So the thing that I was worried about the most was the latency, and the latency really wasn't there. Now binding is a little bit different. It's a little bit different, especially when you binding to the AVC receiver. It's a little bit different. You gotta kind of get it just right. Play with it, because if you want it to be the 5.5 on the response number, which that's the faster, the lower the number, the faster the less latency you have. If you want to use all those channels, you can only bind it at the 11.1. But if you wanted to be quicker and bind it at the 5.5, you can only use 2 channels. So it was kind of conflicting. When I put this onto what I put it on, I put it on one of the cars with the AVC, and it kind of was conflicting. It had no issues out of these 2 cars. It was my Creighton 6S, because I took that too. I just built that as a racer. I took that too, and it was kind of, I had to rebind it about 2 or 3 times before I got it to work the way that I like for it to work. But other than that, if you just bind it on the 2 channels, is lights out. So I would recommend regular SR receivers. Most of my cars, I don't really need gyros anyway, because I'm more off-road. So yeah, it's much easier to bind to the SR receivers. The weight. One thing I could notice out there was the weight of the controller, holding it for a long, extensive amount of time. It is heavy. It's heavy. Is it heavy to where it's gonna have you like, oh, my arms are tired? No. I don't think a 10-pound remote would have you like that when you're having fun. You know what I'm saying? When you're enjoying yourself. So it's not like a workout, but just like I said, just holding them hand to hand, just holding them, I could tell the difference. My Futaba was a little bit lighter. I could, you know what I'm saying, move it. With that one, I could move it too as well, but I could feel the difference in weight. But all in all, man, like I said, if you coming from any of the DX5s, get it. I would say if you are a Futaba fan and you wanted to try this, and you have the latest and greatest, which is the 10 or even the 7PXR, I would say you probably be better off just keeping your 7PXR. But I will say, if you are like me and you buy a lot of cars from Horizon, almost every brushless car that comes from Horizon has an SR receiver in it. It's either going to have the SR or it's going to have the A6100 gyro receiver in it. So with that being said, I know the $700 is a lot of money. But if you run a lot of those cars, it's perfect for you. Over half of my fleet has spektrum receivers in it. I got all my cars from Horizon. My DBXLE has it. My Big Rock has it. My Fire Team has it. My these two right here has it. I have it in my Team Corrali, even though that's not even a spektrum car. My Mojave has it. My Talon has it. My Creighton has it. Both of my bikes have it. My Outcast 8S has it. My Creighton 12S, both of my Creighton 12S, they both have spektrum receivers. So it kind of was a no-brainer for me. I had the DX5 Pro. I actually went away from all spektrum stuff for a little while, and so I had like a bag full of spektrum receivers. But I kind of went away from it for a little while because of the interface of the DX5. I had a DX5 Rugged, and then I had the DX5 Pro. Because of the interface, when you start playing with those touchscreen radios, touchscreen transmitters with the big pretty faces on it, and the easeability of use, it makes you kind of be like, man, I can't go back to a digital screen. But I end up going back to the DX5 Pro because it just worked better for what I was doing. And then the model memory, like all the other remotes other than the Radio Link and the Fly Sky, the other two big dogs, Sanwa and Futaba, they only have 40 car memories. I got over 40 cars. So, you know what I'm saying? And then those receivers are like $59, $69. If you want an SR, it's like almost $100. That's a super responsive if you don't know. And then if you want the new one that just came out with the Futaba 10, those receivers are $109 for one. So just imagine if I got over 40 cars and I had to I wanted one of those top-notch receivers in every single one. You do the math. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of money on receivers. Which spektrum receivers price has jumped as well. I've noticed that since this remote came out, the 3 channels are now like, they're basically almost the price of a Futaba receiver. But you know, it is what it is, man. You gonna get what you pay for. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But all in all, for me, it was a great buy. I don't regret it. It's awesome. I love the interface. The interface on there is crazy. I thought personally, with that system on there, with that Android system on there, it was going to slow the actual production. I mean, the actual, you know, input of the controller. I thought it was going to slow everything down, like how, you know, how your phone, sometimes you have too many pages open on your phone and it causes your phone to run slower. I thought it was going to be like that, but I haven't had that issue, and I hope that I don't. I do recommend that every time you, before you actually use the remote to run the cars, just hit the little button at the bottom and clear out all the screens that's running in the background. Which, if you're using your remote as a remote, you shouldn't have a whole lot of screens open in the background running. But like I said, man, everything about it, to me, I liked. The latency, I thought that was going to be an issue, but that's not really an issue. Not real time is not an issue. Now, if I were to do a test right here with the Futaba and put it in super duper slow motion, you probably would be able to see the difference. But like I said, real time, when you're racing out there, is really no difference. So I enjoyed it. Like I said, this was a great investment. As long as this Android system hold up and doesn't be a real bug, or maybe they come out with something, update later where you can just like basically block it off if it start to act up. But me, like I said on my unboxing video, I'm a tech guy, so I like the tech. You know what I'm saying? I like the new stuff. You know what I'm saying? I like I wish more people would go with Android. I wish this thing had a big old speaker on the side, so I can, once I link my phone to it, it can actually basically act like my phone, where I can be out there and I'm racing and I don't have to stop what I'm doing. I can just hit answer and I can talk to my wife or whoever calling me while I'm still driving. I think that would be absolutely epic. I know some people would say that's too much, but for me personally, I think that would be excellent. So we're gonna sum this thing up, man. We're already at 20 something minutes. Told you it was gonna be a long one, y'all. We're gonna sum it up. Both cars definitely worth the money. This one needs a little bit more work than this one does, to me, for my running. Some people running, they gonna say it need all kinds of work. That's just what it is. The people who used to running big A mains and all that stuff on the big track, getting paid for it, they gonna say it needs a lot. But for the average Joe, the backyard racer, the neighborhood racer like me, both of these are lights out. Get you one, you will enjoy it. The radio is not a must cop for everybody, but for me, it was a must cop. But if you buy a lot of Horizon cars, get this remote, man. Spend the money. It's not, you're gonna spend it one way or another. You're gonna spend it one way or another. And it sucks when you gotta, if you go, let's say you're going out of town like I do and go race, and you taking 7 cars with you out of town, you gotta have 7 remotes. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying, you got one, like radio link, you got one radio link remote, and if you mess around and be rushing and leave one car on, and then you switch in the remote to the next car, you hit the throttle, both cars are gonna go. You don't have to worry about that kind of stuff with this guy right here. So man, that's gonna sum this video up. We're gonna get out of here, man. Get you all 3 of these. I promise you will like them. This guy right here though is a beast. I'm really liking it, man. I can't wait to get it back out again. I got it hooked up to my Losi, my laser nut, so I should be getting that out soon. And I also have it hooked up to my 2 new red cats. I got a lot of more cars I need to hook it to. I just, going binding a whole bunch, taking the receiver boxes out of 25 cars is kind of time consuming, and I haven't had the time to do it yet. But I will be doing it soon. So every time I leave with cars, I'm gonna make sure I have this remote with me every single time. I've dialed everything down to 2. I got my Futaba 10 and I got this remote. Those are the only 2 remotes I will have, except for when I get my new Traxxas boat. I'm gonna keep one of the TQIs because they kind of dumb down when you change the receiver out of those. But other than that, I will have this remote and my Futaba remote with me everywhere that I go, man. She's a beast, man. Get you one. But I appreciate y'all sticking around watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, dislike, whatever you like. YouTube. And I'm in it.